The nation's leader talk about the recent blackout and the fallout that appears to have come as a result of it. I'm Clint Watson. The stories ahead in the Bahamas tonight.
BAMSI requests the opposition ask for a special hearing.
Presidential stop. U.S. President Barack Obama will make a meeting with our Caribbean leaders. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, starts now.
Now in HD. ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight. This portion of the news brought to you by BTC Everyday.
Government turning the corner in selecting that strategic partner for BEC. Good evening, everyone. I'm Charisma Robinson.
And I'm Chris Saunders. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Now, Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Perry Christie, says he's not pleased with yet another blackout in the country as a result of the incident at the corporation, and feels that the country should not be held hostage to one power source. Mr. Christie says as even more consumers join the power grid because of several investment projects in tourism this year, there will be a need for clear alternative sources of energy in the country. And as Clint Watson tells us tonight, the nation's leader also addressed the issue of leadership at the corporation.
The government has identified a strategic partner for BEC. Prime Minister the Right Honorable Perry Christie confirming to ZNS News today that the task force recommendation is being reviewed by Cabinet.
I have completed my work, I think, we are about to make final recommendations in that regard. And that in itself will lay the basis for a new platform and a new approach to BEC, to Family Island generation, to using sort of new modes of producing energy.
The government will be looking at sites like BAMSI and other Family Island locations to implement alternative forms of energy. Prime Minister Christie revealed he was off the island this past weekend during the blackout, but said he was in touch with both Leslie Miller and DPM Philip Davis. The focus now is to shore up the supply for a busy season ahead.
Being able to ensure that whatever the position is, we'll be able to avoid having the entire system shut down on us. Being able to anticipate the energy needs for this summer coming up. It's going to be a hot summer. Recognizing that there's a major increase going on in tourism that I'm pleased with, and that new rooms about to come on stream and therefore new energy requirements.
And with the ongoing saga involving Chairman Leslie Miller, the intervention by the DPM, Mr. Christie was asked whether he was satisfied with the leadership at BEC.
The chairman's statements would cause concern to any political leader, but he has been a very energetic chairman. He has pointed out great challenges at the corporation. He has effected reforms at the corporation, and with respect to his relations with the staff, with respect to the unpredictability of his comments, I'm prepared to see now that those are matters that I would wish we could avoid happening, and we are having discussions with him.
Like DPM Davis, Mr. Christie commended employees at BEC, noting that in other parts of the world, particularly the U.S., when power is lost, it takes sometimes weeks for restoration. He noted that BEC workers went beyond the call, often in life-threatening situations, to reconnect power within hours.
The nation's leader is hoping this will be yet another teachable moment. He's encouraging Bahamians to stay the course, promising that relief will come soon. Clint Watson, ZNS Network News.
The Bahamas Electricity Corporation generators experiencing challenges again, this time knocking out electricity supply to 10% of its customers after 10 this morning. According to a statement from BEC, 2 of the engines at the Clifton Pier Power Station had problems. However, they say the first machine had no impact on customers as there was sufficient generating capacity. We're told that it was only when a second engine had to be taken offline to clean a fuel filter that there was a generator generation shortfall. The statement further indicates that within 90 minutes, BC Crews had cleared the filter and returned the engine to service, restoring supply to consumers. BC apologizes to its customers and assures them that every effort is being made to stabilize its systems.
The BAMSI saga takes another twist today. Head of the Public Accounts Committee, St. Anne's MP Hubert Chipman, made a formal request to the Speaker of the House today, Dr. Kendall Major, for a public hearing into the construction of the Bahamas Agricultural and Marine Science Institute. This after Deputy Prime Minister Philip Davis revealed last week that the contractor that built the male dormitory, destroyed by fire in January, failed to submit the contractor all-risk insurance certificate, and the building remained uninsured. Davis had initially told the House that the insurance had lapsed. Prime Minister Perry Christie responded to Chipman's request, and while he welcomed the hearing, he warned that it would not come without further probing that could include contracts under the former administration. Here's Janae Noel Ferguson.
The Public Accounts Committee requests for public hearing.
That public hearing will be into the construction and other connected matters surrounding BAMSI. Chairman of the Public Accounts Committee, Hubert Chipman, said it's their duty to examine account expenditures on matters of national importance. This as many questions have remained unanswered since it was revealed that the BAMSI building went uninsured during construction.
This business should be performed in the sunshine for all the public to see. The information which has been revealed to date suggests that grave breaches of protocol have occurred, which have resulted in substantial loss of funds to the public purse, and unless addressed, will continue to destroy the nation's faith in the system. Democracy demands that those responsible for BAMSI saga answer to the public and answer in the public hearing.
Now, though the Speaker has the right to decide if the request will be facilitated, Prime Minister Perry Christie suggested that the probe of the Accounts Committee be expanded even further to contracts made under the former administration. He alleged that there is a certain culture within the Ministry of Works that affected both governments.
I would wish the member to note, and the people of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, that when the committee meets, Mr. Speaker, they should request contracts that I could point out to them that they should ask for towards the country being able to understand whether the current Minister of Works is the only minister that has had such a challenge. That is what the committee is for. Never a limited, incisive cut on one subject matter. We are going to use it as a teachable moment. We're going to use it as a teachable moment, Mr. Speaker.
The former Minister of Works and Central Grand Bahama MP Nico Grant took grave offense to Mr. Christie's suggestion.
I came in this House and told an unmitigated untruth about a contract. Never have I, as Minister of Public Works and Transport, misled the House by telling unmitigated untruths, Mr. Speaker. That is the point.
Meanwhile, Chipman maintains that the Prime Minister won't dictate the parameters of that hearing, and the committee is only concerned about contracts related to BAMSI. Janae Noel Ferguson, ZNS Network News.
Still on news from Parliament, meanwhile, a compendium of bills were tabled this morning aimed at expanding the regulatory framework of the credit union industry under the central bank. In moving the bill, Minister of State for Finance Michael Halkitis urged more Bahamians to form cooperatives to promote self-empowerment.
The philosophy is simply people helping people to help themselves. And with the cost of living and the brotherhood and sisterhood of churches and lodges, it's easy to start and operate credit unions under those captive conditions. Because they don't have to look for members. They're right there. Every Sunday, they're right there. Every Wednesday night, they're right there. And so we will see who will take up the challenge.
We apologize. That was the Honorable V. Alfred Gray. Leading debate for the opposition was Long Island Member of Parliament Loretta Butler Turner. In supporting the bill, she said credit unions play a significant role, especially in the Family Islands.
This is a move in the right direction as Bahamians are hurting and reeling and trying to determine how best they're going to be able to use their scarce resources to continue to survive in this environment. I think cooperatives and cooperative credit unions are certainly the move that we need to embrace more widely. I commend the government that we are moving forward with the regulations, because one of the things that we also realize that when large sums of money or even small sums of money are being utilized, we've got to ensure that they're being administered in the proper fashion.
In regional news, regional leaders will meet with U.S. President Barack Obama in Jamaica in a couple of weeks ahead of the Summit of the Americas in Panama. The meeting was originally requested by Chairman of CARICOM, the Right Honorable Perry Christie, as he addressed the Energy Summit in Washington, D.C. earlier this year. Mr. Christie noted that although the meeting will be in Jamaica, he will be there to meet with the President of the United States along with the Jamaican Prime Minister, Portia Simpson Miller, and they will also host the meeting with other regional leaders.
I will be, over the next several days, settling the matters that we would want to discuss. We are aware of what they want to discuss. They are all interested in an area that is important to us. And you'll find that the same area of energy reform and climate change and competitiveness in the economy and energy reform, they are all vital areas to all of the region and to the United States of America that is arriving at that point where they could in fact license people to import natural gas and therefore convert their systems to natural gas. All along we've been agitating for a meeting with the President of the United States of America, and of course it's wonderful that it's happening during my time.
According to a release today, members of the Grand Bahama Human Rights Association say they were in Washington, D.C. meeting with members of the United States Senate. According to that statement released by the group this afternoon, the group shared that the briefing took place during a panel discussion with the U.S. Subcommittee on Foreign Relations. The briefing comes ahead of their appearance before the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights in Washington, D.C. The group, comprising of attorney Fred Smith, Joseph Darville, former Tribune editor Paco Nunez, and former radio host Luby Georges, claimed, among other things, that since the implementation of the new immigration policy, government has carried out, in their words, mass immigration raids and roadblocks in direct violations of the fundamental rights enshrined in the Bahamas' Constitution. The groups also made claims about the, in their words again, rise of hate speech in the Bahamas against activists, including increasingly aggressive mass men donning Ku Klux Klan costumes. The group submitted a photograph taken during the 2014 Boxing Day Junkanoo Parade as an example of their claims. The group says it will be meeting with the U.S. Congress, the Organization of American States, and U.S. lawmakers over the next few days.
Meantime, Foreign Affairs and Immigration Minister Fred Mitchell today dismissed the group's claims and questioned why it would seek an audience in the U.S. as opposed to here in the Bahamas.
We are relentless in ensuring that the true story about our country is told, because for our country, reputation is everything. And I think it'll pretty soon be seen by even those overseas that these detractors are simply incredible, not believable. Anyone can get a hearing, but you've got to come with credible information, and they don't have credible information. We have a very tight line that we have to walk in this country on this migration matter. We have done our best to make sure that there's a balanced and humane approach to what we have to do. But we have a policing action to carry out, and as I've said before, the action is going to be carried out.
Minister Mitchell reaffirmed the country's position as far as the execution of the immigration policy, calling the fact that the Grand Bahama Human Rights Association went to Washington of no consequence. Mitchell maintained the enforcement of the policy is by the book and under heavy scrutiny. He says in the end, the truth would be obvious.
The three individuals who make up the Grand Bahama Human Rights Association that at least showed their pictures there, they lack credibility. No one in the Bahamas believes a word they say. And because they have no credibility in the Bahamas, I suppose they have to go and look to a foreign audience. And that's the question which they have to answer for Bahamians. Why they're going around defaming their country overseas. So Bahamians tend to dismiss what they say, tend to see what they say as unpatriotic. If they truly want to help, there's a methodology and a way they can go about doing that, even if they disagree with the policies. But their statements are just so incredible that people simply don't believe a word they say.
Up to press time, ZNS News was not able to confirm any reaction to the meeting as far as U.S. lawmakers are concerned. However, we do understand that the Bahamian diplomatic mission is monitoring the situation. We also understand that the panel discussion was witnessed by State Minister for Legal Affairs Damian Gomez. This is a continuing story that we will continue to monitor. Judicial lesson, a senior justice talks about your rights.
Firearm sentence, and then we find out why he's going to jail for 10 years. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight.
This portion of the news is brought to you by the new Shell & Lettuce, designed for extra miles.